Alright, let's try this again. This is a reshoot. I went through the whole thing before and realized my microphone wasn't turned on. Seen a lot of videos on how to change the blade on the Laguna 1412. This is not the one that has the brake, or the latest one. It only has one output port, which is fine. I love this saw, but gonna go ahead and change the blade here. And this is a Timberwolf. It's a fairly good. I'm happy with them. Anyhow, this is a 3/8 by 6, and I believe that's a positive rake on the teeth. But I need to cut out a small part here. I'm in the process of making a custom cribbage board, and this piece right here, oops, is the actual cutout. And it's quite a long, it's probably an hour and a half worth of run time. So and he wants to put a picture of some cats on this surface right here. And again, this is a cover of a cribbage board. This is the actual cribbage board. This is what the stock, what I have in stock anyhow, looks like. And we need to put some laser burned cats on this piece here, and they'll basically look like that. And I believe the one on the right is the one that I'm gonna go for, but since I've only got one shot, I need this piece here to be exactly the same size as this piece here. I could do it on a table saw, but it's too messy. And I need to change the blade anyhow for other things that I've got going. But in any case, I need to make a piece like that so that I can put it in the laser. And that's over here. And I really don't want to try and sand the thing off. Now here's the problem, not problem, but just the way it is I've got the 3/4 inch Resaw King, which is a Laguna premium blade, and it is a magnificent blade. It will cut through logs, but I need to cut through something thin, such as this, which is the cats on the other side. And that blade right there would absolutely destroy any kind of clean cut on that. In fact, it'd probably blow out, because this is an extremely aggressive blade. And I need to swap it with this one. Now, I've already removed, for the video, I don't know why that quit. I've already removed the fence holder and the fence, just so it's easier to see what's going on here. I even thought about demoing this thing and throwing a thin piece of plywood in there and just showing you what a mess it makes. But no need. Maybe when I'm done. Nah, not even gonna bother. So anyhow, the easiest way to do this, and I've seen a lot of the YouTubes on changing blades, but the thing that always gets me, oh come on, show me, is that little green light there says that there's power to this machine. And that green light is on the entire time they change the blade. So I kind of had a problem with that because it is a scary machine. So, well, let's do it this way. Just follow the cord up. And it's plugged in overhead. There we go. Green light is now out. And if I was going to do it proper, I'd probably clip something on the end of this called a lockout tag out. But I'll just toss it down there. Now, let's see here. I'm running two GoPros. I don't know why it quit. And I'm mic'd up, but not to this machine. So at this point, what I'll do is I'll show you opening up the machine. There's a little dust port here. Just slide that thing down, open the knob, and usually it would hit the fence, and you'd have to jink around with that, and that's why I took it off. So there it is. Now, when you're changing a blade, first thing's pull the power plug, which I did, and now we need to remove 3 different parts: throat plate, table leveler, we'll talk about that later, and a little dust baffle right here. And it looks like that. We'll do that. Now I'm going to switch cameras and start the change-out procedure and let you see. All we got to do is just get through the path to where we can get to putting a little tension on it. Sorry. Putting a little tension on that. You'll notice that it is clear of the guides, both top and bottom, because you don't want those interfering right now. And switch over to the other camera. There is a lot of talk about where that blade is supposed to ride. All right, try this one last time. This is a really wide blade. It's 3/4 of an inch, and I believe that's probably about a 1-inch tire that's on that. People want to run that gullet on the center of the tire, and I don't think that's possible on something that wide. So that's about where I run it. And I guess if you looked at it from, oh, you can't see it like that. Let's drop this down. And, oh, okay, there, I got zoomed in too far. In any case, that's about where this one's riding, and it works fine. And these are what keep it from falling back that way. Oh, anyhow, I need to point that part out, and I'll try and put this part in because I am on a second camera, so I'll switch back over to the other one and continue. All right. Now we've loosened the tension where the blade slides off, and we want to bring it out of these 2 channels on this side here and this side here. And on this side here, this is where it really helps to take off the fence, because it gets caught on the door and fence and everything else. And it just pops out like that. So a lot easier than what they've said before. And then just turn it and slide it right out. And then if you're brave, take it and twist it just like that. Oops. And fold it. Yeah. Let's do it the old-fashioned way. I'm not that brave. And I don't know if you can see the floor, but I got my foot on it. Got my hand here. I just twist it like that. Bring it down. And it all folds up like that. And because this one has carbide teeth on it, it's a $145 blade. I want to treat it gently. I don't want to break off any of those teeth, but if you can get it to that, and at this point all it takes is and it's safe to hang up on the wall. And I usually have the sticker, but it is hanging up on the wall already. So now I'm putting a reasonable blade on there, and this one is a 3/8 by 6 positive claw. And I like to normally stick this up right here. I'll just throw it in there for right now because there's not a lot of wind in there apparently. And the last 27 times I did it, it seemed to work. Normally I just throw it on the floor, but it's a much tamer blade, so let's see if it can draw blood. Whoops. No, but it did escape. So now we check and we make sure that the teeth are pointing down this way. And then just reverse the procedure. And again, with the fence removed, the things are a lot easier. Bring it up. Verify the teeth are pointing down. That's really embarrassing. Almost as embarrassing as trying to shoot a video with no microphone. So, as I said before, this is round 2. I had to put everything back and reshoot everything because I messed it up. Alright, so the top is on. It's going down. The guides on both the top and the bottom have been shoved to the back because you don't want them interfering at this point, because right now what we're doing is we'll be adjusting the tracking on the blade. And now we get close to where we want to get the teeth pretty close to the middle. So now let me grab the other camera. Oh, this time no light. There we go. And I sit down on the floor normally to do this. All right, so here we're going to guide it through and around the bottom of the tire. Now, if it's a little tight, you can take the tension off the top, but I like to try first. All right, it's going to take 2 hands. I don't know how to put that so you can see what's going on. There we go. And it's on the bottom. It's not lined up. Oh, that's a mess. And it goes up the sides, and now we'll check the top. Top looks good. And at this point, if it's on there, and it appears to be, now we're going to start adjusting the tension. All right, here we go. So you add a little tension. That's this guy back here. And then just give it a little spin. And watch the position of the blade. Does it stay the same? And it looks like it's trying to travel backwards a little bit, but okay, now it looks to me like that's perfectly positioned, like they say, with the gullets over about the center of the blade, center of the wheel. And I personally think it's too far back. So I'm going to slide that thing forward. And with that, this knob on the back, undo the lock. And now, as we move this, I can twist this. I'm not sure which way yet, but let's find out. This way. Let's see if that slides it forward. Nope, that slides it backwards. So we'll go the other way. Ooh. I'm not sure. There we go. Whoa, that was way too far. Nope. Give it a little crank that way and see if that helps. And then maybe a little more. A little more. Take some pressure off, make it a little easier to turn that knob and try it again, because it was pretty hard. There we go. That's right about where I think it should be. Maybe not Laguna, maybe they want it back a little further so that the gullets are over the center, but I think that right there is good. Alright, I got full tension on it. Now we come and find out the actual tension. Now this is a 3/8 inch blade. So we want to be on the 3/8 inch tension, and it looks pretty damn close. So release the tension, give it a little crank, increase the tension, and it went the wrong way. Try a couple like that. Ooh, that was way too far. There we go. Kind of right in the center. But then the real test is what's it sound like. A little on the loose, the way it sounds. Let's give it a little bit more, so drop the tension, crank it just a little bit. Oops, wrong way. Always the wrong way. There we go. That's it. A little bit too far. All right, that's right in the middle. Not sure if I agree by the sound, but according to the numbers, everything's cool. All right, so at this point, we've got our tension up, and our tracking is set, at least to my happiness. Go ahead and leave me a note if do something different, and then lock that thing down. Check it one more time. Looking good. Okay, now, how am I gonna film that? I'm gonna go ahead and shut this one off and switch over to the other camera and move it around and see if I can get a better shot of this. Okay, now this is the adjustment of the guides, So I like to loosen both of these up. This one's already loose because I got it out of the way, and then loosen this one up. And the first thing we want to do is adjust the backstop. And this is at this point on this, the upper one, because the bottom is backwards. So just barely touching it. And that is a little more. That should do it. Now you want to tighten this thing up before you finalize anything, because this thing moves when you tighten it. So it's just barely touching. And that's good. And no noise there. Just give it a... Now these guys here, now these these 4 guides here, they're ceramic. They want to be behind the gullet, just barely, or even touching the edge of it, but you don't want them to go into the teeth, because the teeth are offset, and that would ruin the blade probably in 1 revolution. So that distance this way on the guides is good. There's still no rubbing. So now I think some people have taken a piece of paper or something. What I do is I just lightly touch them like this and give them a light lockdown. And they're just touching a little bit. And try it again. Looks like the bottom was touching harder than the top, so give it a little upward pressure and try. Just lightly touch. Like there's supposed to be like a paper thickness distance in between the two. No, that's still too tight. There we go. Okay, tighten, 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 tighten. Top is done. Now we got to do the thing on the bottom, and that one's the one that's a pain in the ass. So let me shut this off, move the lights around, and give you a shot from up above. All right, now same thing on this one, but these 2 pieces here for some reason are reversed. So we're going to go ahead and loosen up the back, loosen the front, the width, and then these are already loosened, so it slides in and out. So the first thing is this one way in the back here. This is the one with the back stop. So we do that one. Well, actually, can't. I have to do these others first. So we slide the side pieces up against like that. Just give a little bit of touch to it. And then give it a spin. And it's not touching. So these guys are good. So these 2 back here set the side pieces, the side ceramics, this way. These 2 do it this way. But this one back here is the piece that limits the back travel. So I don't know. And give it a little spin each time so it's not on the same spot. And then just tap it up till it just barely touches the back. And give it another spin. Nice and quiet. Lock everything down. And one last spin. Still okay. I think we're good to go. All right, so the guides have been adjusted. Now we put it all back together. Okay, so now we put our 3 pieces back. I do the baffle, stick it back in there, close the door, and raise the dust shield. There. Still good. Table leveler. And you can pop that down there and get it out of the way. And lastly, but definitely leastly, the throat plate. Door is closed. Tension is up. One final check. Everything stays. Close them up. That one's closed. Let's drop this down to a safe level. About there. Always be sure and lock that down, because if it doesn't and this thing moves back and it'll wobble. Look at that. And that would be bad. You could lose a blade. Once that's locked down. That's all these are tight. That's up there. Tracking is locked. And now for the viral moment. Plug it back in. Got our little green light. This is what y'all been waiting for. I like to let it run for a minute or so. And maybe even just test it out a little bit. Oh, and like the really strange guys do. Job done well.